that him? Put the hatchet down! Put the axe down! Put the axe down! Put the axe down!
We're freezing the video here because that's when the officer opens fire. You can hear Officer Samples tell Mahan to put the axe down 3 times. That morning, police were called to Morse Avenue on the west side after neighbors said a man cut power to their home. They didn't find him, but returned later when neighbors called again about someone vandalizing homes. This time, they spotted Mahan in the woods. Investigators say Mahan was raising the axe as if to throw it. The family argues Mahan was having a mental health episode. The state attorney's office reviewed the shooting and found it was justified under Florida law. JSO's response to resistance board also concluded that the officer didn't violate department policy and did not find the need for any additional training. The lawsuit says Mahan never threatened the officer with the hatchet, that Officer Samples never identified himself as a police officer, and that he made no effort to de-escalate the situation. Mahan's mother released a statement saying in part, "It only took 20 seconds from the first moment Officer Samples laid eyes on our son to make the irreversible decision to end his life. Kevin needed help, and now he is gone. This is a wound that will never heal."
All right, this is kind of a tragic but interesting situation. First of all, this one was in Florida, and the standards for the police there and state law are considerably different than they are in California. If this was California, I have no doubt that that officer would have been absolutely disciplined, and there's no question about whether the city would be liable. California is a lot more lenient towards suspects. There's ways to de-escalate that. Almost every police department in California has policies and procedures and training for de-escalating situations so cops stop shooting people and try to save lives, because most of the stuff that's going on like this is a product of mental health issues and could be resolved without putting a hole in somebody. You know, certainly Florida is like the polar opposite as far as the law is concerned. However, when you get into constitutional laws, that applies to everyone, everywhere. Their interpretation of it may be a little bit different. This is an interesting case. I think in California, I think the cops would have a tremendous amount of liability. I think the cop either would have been charged criminally or at least severely disciplined to the point of being fired, and the city would be liable for the damages in this wrongful death case. The failure to identify himself as an officer, that's an interesting claim. I think it's kind of a detail in a sense. I mean, yes, they're supposed to do that. I think in this case it was very obvious that he was a police officer. I don't recall him saying that or showing that he identified himself at all. Assuming that he didn't, I still don't, I don't think that in and of itself is the crux of this thing and like the most important point. The distance between him and the person with the hatchet was significant enough that it didn't really present any immediate threat of great bodily harm or death from the suspect. You know, he's pretty far away. Again, this could have been de-escalated without shooting him first. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, please like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching.